Hi everyone, in this video I want to show you how I painted this 3D printed house kit. And I've got some exciting stuff to talk about. So let's get started. First off, this is the first house that I've designed as a kit you have to assemble yourself, instead of printing it in one piece. Alright, so after removing all the parts from the printer and washing and curing them, I started by gluing the two roof parts together. Next, I sanded the other parts to remove any imperfections from the printing process and making sure all the parts fit together. At this stage, I also glued the inner wall to the floor plan. Before I started painting the walls, I first gave the roof a layer of paint. It will need at least 2 layers. The first layer can dry while I paint the walls. For the brick walls, I'm using this brown Umbro enamel paint. Next, while the walls were drying, I gave the roof its second layer of paint. This time I used a bit lighter blue, because the first layer was a bit too dark for my liking. By the way, let me know what color would you paint a roof on a house like this. I used the floor plan with the inner wall glued in place as a stand for the roof while the paint were drying. Next up, I gave the brick walls their second layer. This is exactly the same color as the first layer, it's just to remove any remaining white that's shining through. With this house, there's also a single row of bricks on the floor plan, which I almost forgot to paint. I don't think this was the best method to design this part where the walls connect to the floor plan, because it does result in quite a noticeable seam. I will have to rethink this. By the way, I might make a video about this on my other channel. If you are interested in how I design these models and print them, make sure to check out my second channel, link in the description. Here I'm applying a oil wash on the bricks. This is to simulate the light color mortar that you can see between the bricks on most brick walls. Once applied, I carefully wipe away the excess wash from the surface of the bricks. Just be careful if you use a wash that softens the paint so you don't accidentally remove the brown paint from the bricks in the process. I noticed that the white resin allowed some light to shine through the walls and the roof, so I decided to paint the inside with this brown acrylic paint. This is a drawback of using white resin, but it was on sale. White resin also makes it harder to see details on unpainted models. I'm still searching for better resin to print these types of models, but I don't have an unlimited budget to try all the resins, so let me know if you have any suggestions. Next, I used this matte white paint to paint the plastered areas on the wall. I also painted the window frames using this. Then I used this dark green paint to paint the doors, downpipes and other details. If I'm comparing painting this building versus painting that station building I did a few videos ago, I have to say I was enjoying painting this one much more. And that's mostly because of it being in separate pieces, making it much easier to handle and paint precisely. Also, this is actually quite a boring subject to make a video about, and it's much harder to make it engaging to watch. So if you have made it this far, please do me a favor and give the video a thumbs up. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I got a new camera. That's why I have 2 camera angles in this video. Let me know if you think it's cool or if you don't like it. This is how the walls looked at this stage. I was quite scared to start assembling, because I didn't want to make a mistake and ruin all the time I spent painting. One thing I was especially scared of was snapping off the downpipes, because they are quite fragile. I carefully fitted and sanded every piece until they fitted together as well as possible. I then used some super glue to glue the walls to the floor plan. I didn't glue the wall pieces together on the corners until all of them had been glued to the floor plan. That way it's easier to align them. and the roof fitted perfectly. While I finish painting the rest of the details, let me tell you how you can print this house for yourself. You can download the STL files on my Buy Me a Coffee page. Included are all the separate parts that already have all the needed supports and have been test printed, so you don't have to mess with anything. You can just drag them onto your print bed and hit print. But if you don't like the supports I added, I've also included unsupported versions, so you can add them yourself if you want to. I've also included my .blend file if you want to change stuff in Blender. I've decided to price this one at $5, which I feel is a fair price. Oh yeah, I almost forgot, I also added window glazing using some clear packaging plastic. I cut it to size and glue it in using super glue. If you have any questions or suggestions for buildings I should make next, please let me know in the comments, I would love to hear from you. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.